dun, 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 dun. Hey Vee, hey Vee, TV. Dun, 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 dun. Hey Vee, hey Vee, TV.
Hi everybody and welcome to Hey Vee TV. I am your host Valencia Joy, and you know I always love when I have sister girlfriends on the couch with me today, and I have a new sister girlfriend, Rohnesha Horne. Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I just want to jump right in. You guys know I love Super Soul Sunday, Oprah's new television show. I guess it's not new, but whatever. And I saw three things, and it kind of made me think of you. So it's three ways that you have to self-care by saying no. Mm-hmm. So the first one is saying, no, I am unable to do that. You don't give excuses, not because of anything. You don't give anything to prove that you're nice. Mm-hmm. You just say, no, I'm unable to do that. That was Shonda Rhimes. Westmore said, don't let people that don't matter too much matter too much. Mm. Which is really good. Mm-hmm. And Ayanna Levenzant said, when you don't know that you matter, you will make somebody else's crazy about you.
That is true.
That was like an aha moment, especially for me in relationships. Because you take on people's crazy. Yeah. But the first one made me think about you specifically, because when I was trying to schedule Miss Girl Boss over here, she said, no, I am unable to do that date and that date. Let's try again. And I was like, oh, like we really had to work to make this happen. Mm-hmm. But I could appreciate that because you were protecting your space. I think you had vacation time and you only wanted to do certain things on vacation. Is it hard for you to tell people no?
It is. It's very hard for me to tell people no because I feel obligated. Yeah. I feel like, well, I should make time. Yeah. I should put other people first. I'm being selfish if I say no. So it's very hard for me to say no. But I've learned that because I say no doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. But sometimes you have to put yourself first. Sometimes I have to practice loving myself. And not feeling like I get my self-fulfillment out of doing things for others. Okay. So that's hard for me because that makes me happy doing things for others. And so I had to find a balance where I'm not looking to find fulfillment in helping others, but finding fulfillment in a healthy balance. Yeah.
So saying no is part of health, is part of self-care.
Yes, it is.
It's part of your health.
Absolutely. Your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. Yeah. You have to protect yourself all the way around. And sometimes something may look like it's a good thing, or it may seem like you're doing something good, and it could sometimes backfire, be negative, and you just don't know. So you have to really be careful before you give a yes. Yeah. Because you want to keep your word. Yeah. So I don't like to give immediate answers. Sometimes I like to think about it, look at my schedule, pray about it. You know, I don't always give an instant no or instant yes. I kind of try to think about it first before I give an answer, because then I find myself in bad situations.
Do you pray about everything? Like every decision?
It depends. I won't say every single decision I pray about. What I do is I take the wisdom that I already have from the Bible. So if there's something, if someone asks me a question and I don't pray about it, I'll just try to think of something in the Word that will help me give a decision, yes or no decision. But if it's something that something that's not coming out of me, then I'll pray about it. Like, Lord, I need your help. Like, I'm hiring right now. And I have 3 good candidates. And I'm like,
4. My app will be in the morning.
Okay. And I'm like, Lord, lead me to the candidate that you want me to hire. That's a decision I wouldn't make on my own. Yeah.
So you're hiring because you are a boss. Let's talk about it. You are the marketing director at Radio 1.
Yes, ma'am.
How awesome is that?
It's incredible. I can't believe it. Took me 10 years, but I'm finally
Walk
there.
me through the journey.
Oh my gosh. So I started as a promotions assistant marketing director, which was an hourly full-time position, but entry level. And I had no clue about entertainment or radio. I came from the retail industry. So I worked at a mall in Cleveland called Beechwood Mall. And I worked in the Gap. That was my very first job. I started at 16 years old. And I worked there for 10 years.
Okay.
And I ended up leaving the Gap. And I was kind of out of work for a minute. And someone I went to college with was selling radio. And he's like, hey, I remember you from college. I've got a project that I want your help with. Would you be willing to work with me on this project? And I said, sure. I kind of did some freelance public relations work for him and some marketing work for him. And he said, you know what? It's an opening at the radio station. Assistant marketing director. I really think you should apply for it. And at that time, I was like, I don't even listen to the radio. I don't want to work at the radio station.
What?
Yeah, that was my attitude. It was just like, no, I'm okay. He's like, well, what other options do you have? I mean, you're kind of just working in retail. What are your career goals? And I was like, you know what? Let me apply. Mm-hmm. I applied for the job, and the marketing director was like, I think that you're a really nice, sweet young lady. You have strong writing skills, but you're just not qualified for this position. And so I'm going to, let you know that. So I was like, my feelings, and I kind of said, I'm not going to take no for an answer. And I kind of got in my pride about it, and I prayed about it as well, and I knew that God told me this position was going to be mine. So I would write her, I would email her, and it's almost like the Lord would set it up where I would run into her. I mean, I seen her at the grocery store, I seen her at the mall, I seen her at the festivals. Luke Easter Festival, it's 1 million people, and I'm like, hey boss.
You calling her boss?
I was calling her boss. I'm like,
speaking those things. Okay.
I said, you ain't found nobody yet, huh? I'm still available. And she would crack up laughing like, this girl is crazy. But I told her my story, and I said, I know that I've been through what I've been through for a reason. I know I'm supposed to be here. She brought me back a few months later, hired me. A year and a half later, she gets let go. So I was interim in her position, went through a couple marketing directors, learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, and then finally worked my way up to marketing director this past May.
Wow. That's such an awesome story of faith.
Yeah.
So talk to us about how it felt to know that God told you, because I think we all face this. Know that God told you this is your job. But in your humanness, in your human eyes, everybody is telling you, no, she's telling you no. You're not qualified. How did you handle that?
I honestly ignored it. Because to me, she was just a human. And my experience with God had built my faith at that point, and I just was like, I know you're saying this, but I don't believe you. You know what I mean? Because if God, no one's higher than God, no one has more power than him. And I just chose to ignore it. And I just chose to trust him and believe. And I know it sounds crazy, but I don't remember having moments like, this isn't going to happen. I just remember,
really?
I'm going to wait till it does happen.
Really?
Because when I kept running into her, I knew it. He would kind of baby step me along. So it's almost like, do you know how the Lord talked to King David? Well, David as a shepherd boy. He was 15 years old. He didn't get into the kingdom until 10 or 15 years later.
So let me stop you. I love the Lord. Y'all know that I do. Jesus is my Jesus. However, these stories don't ever make me feel better. You see these memes like Joseph waited 150 years and so-and-so waited 100. You be like, dang, like, but I want it now.
Yeah, but you're not ready now. And that's the thing. David wasn't ready. But he had to know that that's where his future was going to be.
Yeah.
And during that time where he's hiding from Saul, about to get killed, hiding in caves.
About to get killed. And you know you're about to be king. Like that's a lot.
But you have to go through it. He's shaping your character. He's molding you. And so for me, that's what he was doing for me in that waiting time. In all of our waiting times. We have to trust the process. And I think that's what people mean when they say trust the process.
Yeah. The
process is making you better.
Yeah.
And it's preparing you for what you're going to receive. We can't just get things because we won't appreciate them. I would have never appreciated the job if I didn't have to work for it.
If I hit the lottery right now, I would appreciate every red cent. Every cent I would appreciate. I understand what you said, but I just got to say some things I would appreciate right now. You said that God was preparing you through other stuff before this. How did you meet God?
I've met him a million different ways and didn't know it. So I did not grow up in a Christian household.
Okay.
My family was kind of free spirits and kind of like, hey, just be a good person, good things happen to you. That was kind of the thing. There's a God, but, you know, still be good and still have fun and, you know, just do whatever. So, I believe I was 20 or 21 years old, and I had two girlfriends who did grow up in church, and they were witnessing to me, and I was so tired of them witnessing to me. Like, please, I'm not going to church. Stop asking me. I'm a good person. I'm good. And they're like, no, but it's not about good behavior. Like, it's about getting to know Jesus. And I'm like, who is Jesus? You know, I didn't never hear who Jesus was. I just heard about God, and that was it. So my mom, who was like my rock, she's like, I'm a mama's girl. Okay. She came and sat me and my sister down. Was like, hey, you know, I really want to move in with my boyfriend. You know, you guys are grown. You're 21. You're 20 or 21, I think. My sister was grown. She's like, you guys can go out on your own. And that terrified me to the point where I was like, well, who's going to take care of it? Like, you know, I know, like, my mommy, like, my mommies, like, I'm on my own. And so it really, it freaked me out to the point where I called my girlfriends like, hey, I think I want to go to church. I want to get to know this guy, because if I'm going to be on my own, like, I know that I can't do this on my own. I was a late bloomer, so I wasn't like a really, you know, I didn't go out on the edge. I was safe zone, safe girl.
Got you.
So, I started to go to church with my girlfriend, and I walked in the first Sunday. I remember I was just like, this is cool. Didn't really feel anything. And then the second week, I felt like a little bit of rock chiseling off of my heart. Okay. And then I was like, I feel something. I don't know what it is. And then next week, I felt a little bit more of the rock chisel off of my heart. By the fourth Sunday, I knew. I mean, it was like eureka, like the aha moment, the veil came off, the blinders came off, and I'm like, what have I been doing my entire life? Like, I once was lost, but now I'm fine. I was blind, but now I really can see. And I remember the song was playing, Amazing Grace, and I'm crying, and I walked down the aisle like, oh, I can't get moment. It was amazing. And then I'm telling you, I would go everywhere telling everybody about Jesus. I found Jesus. Like, I couldn't stop telling people. They're like, you are glowing. Are you in love? I'm in love with Jesus. Like, I just, he was my everything at that moment. Of course, you know, we had our up and downs, but that's how I found him. Through my friends witnessing to me, through me being afraid to be out on my own and without my mom and not knowing how I was going to survive. Yeah. And yeah, that's the story of how I got saved.
And now you rocking with God. Yes. All the time.
Yes.
So your role at Radio 1 causes you to be in charge, in control, running stuff all the time. How does that translate to in your dating life?
It's very, I separate the two.
Is that hard to do? And how do you?
It's not hard for me now. I think if I was probably younger, in my 20s, that would be a hard thing for me. Actually, I know it would be just because of the relationships that I had in my 20s. I'm a control freak and a perfectionist, and I need power. And in relationships, I would purposely date weaker men. So, yeah. I know.
So, hold on.
Yeah.
Purposely?
I would purposely date weaker men.
Describe a weaker man to me.
He had to need me in some sort of way. Where I felt like, oh, he needs me. He's not going anywhere until I'm done with him.
Got you.
So, it's so funny. I would do that because I was afraid of commitment. I would commit, but I always knew that my commitment would be temporary. So
your commitment was manipulated.
Yes. Okay. It was a game for me. It was a challenge. Oh, I want that one. And then I get them and then I'm done.
I ain't mad. I am not mad, but keep going.
And so it was, it fed my ego. And it was very, you know, it was just horrible. But I did not realize what I was doing. I had no good examples of relationships, and my relationship with Christ was new, so I didn't really know how to work that relationship, and it's kind of like just bad relationships all around me. So, yeah, I felt like if I can control this, they can't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all about me and what I could get out of it. And once the butterflies are gone and the excitement was gone, then I was done. And so I grew out of that the closer that I got with Christ.
Yeah.
And when I started to understand what love was, which I just knew I knew what love was because I'm a hopeless romantic. I know romance,
I am too.
but I always thought romance and love was the same thing, and they're not. And so when I started to get to know God, I started to realize, yo, this love thing is hard, and it's work, and it's not about me.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. It's not about me. And God is like, no, it's not about you. It's about me.
So, the difference between love and romance is?
I think that romance is the icing on the cake of love. I think that love is the act of the will. So it's a choice that you make for someone else that you don't have to make for their happiness. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it may be jeopardizing your own happiness. And sometimes you have to love and not have expectation. And I think that's the hardest thing for us. Is to love
us as women or people?
People. I think people in general.
Love without expectation.
Mm-hmm. If you can truly love someone without expecting anything back from them, then you've learned how to love like the Lord loves us. Mm. And I think that's what he wants us to do. We have to love like Christ. And regardless of our behavior, how many times we mess up, how many times we turn our back on him and put other things first, he still protects us, provides for us, loves us. And so he wants us to love each other that way. Like we love ourselves. We love ourselves even though we're dirty or nasty or mean or angry or crazy. And that's how we should love.
I'm none of those things, but I do understand what you're saying. I do understand the point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
So can love exist without romance?
Yeah, but I think it's not as good. It's not as sweet. I think that love can exist without romance. I mean, I love my mom without romance.
Yeah.
But in relationships?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It can, but it won't be as strong. You know, I think you need romance because it's kind of like, well, I could get you I can do something mediocre or subpar for you. But when I see you go above and beyond, it just kind of enhances the love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think romance is very important.
In relationships, boy-girl relationships, abstinence.
Very important.
It's hard.
It's very hard. It's a very, very, very hard. Because you want to physically express your love for someone that you love. Yeah. You know, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, we're built for that. That's what we're created to do, is to be fruitful and multiply. We're created to have that pleasure, but it's almost like a fire, you know. Fire, and the fireplace is warm and cozy and, you know, romantic. But you take that fire outside of that fireplace and it burns the whole house.
The whole house down.
Burns it down. Okay? It burns it down. So you want to protect your love by remaining abstinent. And
until
marriage. Until marriage. And I think God honors that. And I think he makes it very, I don't know because I'm not married yet, but I think that he's going to make it very sweet. For thy faithfulness. Make it sweet, Lord. Make it sweet.
That's a very good prayer.
Yeah.
to add to that list.
Yes.
Make it sweet.
Make it sweet because I was waiting. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I think he'll honor that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, you know, I won't say that he won't if you don't wait, but I just think that anytime you do something God's way, it's a greater benefit than...
Yeah, there's a blessing.
There's a blessing.
Obedience
in
any aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hold on, girls. Hold on to those panties. How do you self-care?
Ooh, spa days, girl days. I love getting pampered. I love getting the nails done, the feet done, the massages and the lashes and the hair, and like I love it. So that's how I definitely in shopping. I love to shop. Online shopping. Shopping.
You can shop online?
I can now.
So I can't shop online because I never know how it's gonna fit.
Well, I don't. I if I'm familiar with the brand, I'll do it. But I try to go into the stores first, or I try to look at their measurement charts and see what the sizes are.
See, I always end up on these sites where the stuff comes from overseas and it takes like 2 months to get here. But once it gets here, it's super cute. But I ain't built like a lot of them girls over there. Like a lot of the shirts I can't wear. A lot of the pants, like, it's iffy. But the stuff is cute. So then I find myself, like, playing around with the measurements. And then I gotta wait 2 months to get it to see was I right. It's a hassle. It's a hassle. And then, do you have a laundry day?
No. Oh, goodness. I got 6 loads calling my name right now. No laundry day. I can't plan like that. My life is too spontaneous.
Is it?
Yes.
So you wait until you're, like, down to your last?
I try not to, but that's happened several times. But I try not to wait to there. I try to, whatever day a week that I can come home in the evening, which is very rare, I try to knock out. I try to knock out.
Do you cook?
No.
That next question.
I don't have time to cook. I don't even have time to go grocery shopping. I eat out a lot. I try to eat out as healthy as possible, but I do eat out a lot. So cooking, you know what it is? Let me say this. If I go grocery shopping, then I cook. But it's very rare that I go grocery shopping. And I also don't like cooking just for myself.
Yes.
I need somebody to cook for. So when I have someone to cook for who can taste my food and I can get like a good job, pat on the back, then I'm cooking all day.
So you can cook?
Yes.
You just don't cook.
I just don't cook.
So run your day down for me. Like, what time you get up?
5 a.m.
Oh.
5 a.m.
Are the birds up there?
No, but it's the best time to read and pray.
Oh. See, that's first fruits. I try to do that. I will set my alarm for, really early. And then I'll lay there and pray and go back to sleep in the middle of my prayer. And then I'll wake up and say the same prayer over again because I don't know where I left off because I fell asleep. And I do this repeatedly. So then I'm like, okay, I'll get up. Because if I'm laying there, I'll go back to sleep. So I'll get up, I'll go make some coffee, and then be asleep at the kitchen table. Like, I cannot stay up that early in the morning.
Yeah.
You do that? That's discipline.
Yeah, most days. Well, because I know once I'm in it, and then that's it. I won't pray that day. Yeah. Like, if I wake up late, I'm not praying that day. Like, I'm going to say a quick prayer, like, thank you, Jesus. Watch over me, protect me. I got to go back.
One of those cute prayers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, set my alarm at 5 a.m., get up, make tea. Then I pull out my devotional or whatever I'm going to read for that morning. Or I have plans in my Bible app. Read a plan. Then I'll say a prayer. I'll listen to some worship music to kind of get me in the mood. And then whatever is on my heart, I just start talking. I walk and pace and pray. So I don't pray like on my knees. Like sometimes I have a prayer pillow because my knees, I'm down there for a long time. So I get a prayer pillow. But lately I've been walking and pacing and flailing my arms like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'll do that like if something's going on. If I feel like I'm warring at the moment, then I gotta walk my house. I gotta lay hands on my kids. I gotta touch the doors. And I gotta do all that. But if it's just a regular old Tuesday, I'm like, Lord, you know. And I feel comfortable with that. Good night. So then you go to work. Yes.
Then I go to work and meetings mostly every morning, all morning. And that takes up the majority of my morning and checking emails. I get about 200 emails a day. Going through emails, meetings, random meetings with clients, with the department, the programming staff, lunch. I take lunch every day. It's very rare that I don't take lunch because I think it's very important because my brain at that point is on overload. Right, and I can't think for the rest of the day. So I try to leave the office every day for lunch. Come back and finish out my day with hitting the rest of my emails, and then I'm either headed towards church for some type of volunteer work, Bible study, something in the evening. Or I'm headed home. And then I usually do some work on some side projects. My personal endeavors. Work on that, and then I go to sleep. Do it all over again.
So when do you date?
Oh, yeah, I date. In between there. Yeah, just, I fit some time in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long day. Tell me about the power shower.
Yeah! So the power shower was amazing. It birthed from me going to a baby shower. I went to a baby shower from one of my coworkers, and I left there feeling like the weight of the world was just off of my shoulders. And I'm like, whoa, was I depressed, or was I sad, or was I overwhelmed? I didn't realize that I needed a break. I didn't realize that shower had just given me a moment to just take my mind off of the world. And I just got to enjoy seeing my friend and her husband, prepare for a new baby. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I probably can't be the only single woman that feels this way. Or unmarried woman that feels this way. So I want to do something for my close friends. I started thinking about my close friends, and I felt the Holy Spirit say, no, I want you to do this for the city. So I'm thinking like, can't afford that. And I was saving money for one of my spa days, one of my makeover weekends or whatever. So I had money saved up for for self-care. And I remember kind of like going and like planning out, getting ready to set my appointments. And the Lord was like, I told you I want you to do this event. And I'm thinking like, what? Okay. So I had to put myself to the side, and I said, okay, what would I want? Okay, I definitely want to be going somewhere for free. I don't want to pay.
Okay.
Nobody pays to go to a bridal shower or a baby shower.
So your power shower is free?
It was absolutely free.
Wow.
I did not want someone to say, I don't even have $5 or $10, so I won't go. I didn't want any barriers for the women who I feel like sometimes in society, singles, we get left out. And we're looked at as if, oh, you're single, you don't have kids or whatever, you can do it.
It's funny you say that because I run Hey Sis. And my team always says we need to start charging because food gets expensive and, venues and whatever. And I've always said I can't bring myself to do it because I remember being that broke.
Yeah.
Where I couldn't scrounge up $10
Me too.
to go to an event I wanted to go to just to get away from I didn't have the money. So I couldn't. I completely understand what you're saying, but God provides.
He provided $3,000.
$3,000?
$3,000. That's how much it cost to run the event.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And he provided 100 women.
Wow.
And
That's beautiful.
I had budgeted for 50 women, and the response was so overwhelming. I just could not turn anyone away.
Yeah.
And I just said, okay, Lord, if you're going to give me the money then for 100. And he did. Every woman received a Bible, a devotional,
beautiful.
A mug, a pen.
Beautiful.
It was very, very nice.
Beautiful.
We had music, we had food, we had games,
yeah.
prizes.
Yeah.
We got Kate Spade bag. A pink one too.
My color.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and everyone said that it was so encouraging. We had encouraging words, and it's a lot of tears, and people just got to just vent and just be free and network, and it was awesome.
Look, when God gives you the vision, God provides the resources. He provides the people. He provides the atmosphere. He provides everything you need, but you have to move.
You got to.
You have to do something. You can't. He can't do everything. You know what I mean? You've got to show a little bit of faith and some obedience.
Yeah, and I said I can do it next year. He said,
Yeah,
no, do it now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think just to tie it all together, when you take the time to be disciplined enough to spend time with God, and I know I play around a lot, but I know spending time with God is important. That's when you're able to hear His voice and hear those instructions. Because when you're always busy and always going and doing stuff, you can't hear Him.
That's
when
true.
He says, do it now, not next year. And do it for 100 people and do it for the city. You can't hear all of that.
That's true.
I've had to learn to still my life at points because I had gotten used to TVs going all the time, social media going all the time. Like always noise and action and something. And I had to learn to take time to just be still. Yeah. And learn how to meditate, which is kind of hard to do.
It's very hard to do.
But it's so worth it because that's when you learn his voice and really hear his heart.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed our conversation.
Me too.
Hey, Ro, thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
Where can everybody find you?
Instagram, social media, Facebook, Rohnesha M. Horne. That's spelled RohneshaMhorne.
Check her out, girl boss. Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
Bye, guys.